Well, welcome to another one of our pundit Q&As where you've been sending in the questions for today's guest and today's pundit. Yes, it is the wonderful Cesc Fabregas. Cesc, we're going to go straight in there because we've got a lot of questions. The first one coming from Eblay. Who would you say inspired you to get into football?
Well, inspired from the beginning, I think it's my dad. I played with him in the streets everywhere in my hometown. It was a small village, so yeah, all the times you could go in the street anytime you wanted until 12 o'clock midday. So yeah, I think that was the first step. And then he created, because he knew that I loved it so much, he created that small team, five-a-side, with my best friends when we were only 4 years old. So we started competing, and he was the first one that gave me that little push, yeah.
So you started competing, but did you win?
Yeah, we won. I still have, I think, a couple of clips of my first ever tournament, 4 years old. So yeah, we won that one, so I was happy.
Nishan, what is your favourite memory as a player?
Probably, I think for everyone is the same. Once you're lucky enough to win the World Cup for your country, I think there's no bigger achievement, collectively or individually.
Just if you win the World Cup,
Yeah,
just
if
so
you're lucky,
if
you're lucky to win it, I think there's no other answer than that.
Yeah.
Really, I think that's my favorite moment. Yeah.
Okay, and then from Claire, you were managed by two of the most influential managers in Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola. What did they bring to you as a player?
I think Arsene gave me the individual knowledge and freedom to express myself, the confidence, for a young player. That I think it's so important to believe in myself, to give me that first moment of, come on, show me what you've got, show yourself, not putting a lot of pressure on me, maybe not playing well and repeating with me, keeping me, playing me with the top players that Arsenal had at that time. And then Pep, from his side, I think tactically I learned a lot about the positional game. At Arsenal, I was a little bit more free to do what I wanted. I was, more anarchic, I would say. And with Pep, I understood the positional play much better.
How was that for you going into that Arsenal team at such a young age?
It was very nice because they treated me super well. But as you can imagine, I was coming from the under-15s at Barcelona Academy, and all of a sudden, jump 3 months after I arrived, I was basically with the first team every day, and it made me realize what it was to be a professional football player at a very top level. That year was also the year of the Invincibles, and even though I didn't play, I was with them the whole year. So for me to experience all of that was a fantastic opportunity to learn, like going to university every single day.
Can you take us back to that moment when you made your Arsenal debut and how special that was?
Yeah, that was super special. I was 16, it was against Rotherham, the League Cup. And for me, I didn't expect it, to be fair. Nobody told me that I was going to start the game. Only my family, actually, because they came without me knowing. And they came knowing that I was going to start, and I didn't know. So that was actually quite funny. And then after the game, I saw them there, and they told me, so I was very happy. It was a special moment.
I was going to say, that's super special. Let's go, Ethan. What was the one team you always wanted to play for, but never got the opportunity to?
None.
So you just
my dream, no, it's not about always. To be fair, when I was young and I was a Barcelona fan and I had that dream, if you're asking me as a boy, my dream was to play for Barcelona, and I achieved it. I never thought I could play for Spain. I never thought I could play for Arsenal, for Chelsea, all of these clubs, because when I was so small, the Premier League was not followed in Spain. We couldn't watch games, so all you could see is the closest club that you had closer to your house, and that was Barcelona. That's who I followed.
Okay, there you go, Ethan. That's your answer for that one. Let's move on to Robbie. If you could pick two midfielders to play with in a central three, who would they be?
All right, that's tough. Again, I had great teammates. I would pick one that I played with and one that I would have liked to play with. Okay, I think Iniesta, because a player that I understood always, very well with each other, and I played some of the best football next to him. And then another one is Gerrard. Yeah, I think he was someone that I looked up to when I was young. When I remember the first times that the Premier League was open in Spain, that we could watch games, and he was very young. He was stepping into the Liverpool side. I had a Nokia. You remember one of the first phones that I had when I was young was this Nokia.
Oh yeah, the one that you could change the face
Yeah, you could change the face, and you could set up the screen. And I remember I had Gerrard 17
No way.
and stuff like that. Yeah, when he was wearing 17 at the beginning. So yeah, no, I always said it. He was one of the players that I would have loved to play with.
Stevie G. Okay, for midfielders, let's talk about defenders, because Julia wants to know who's the most tenacious defender that you've ever played against.
Against probably Carlos Puyol, also John Terry. They are two of those defenders that you don't want to face. You know, when you play as a number 10, second striker, that you have to face them and be in these pockets, and you know they're gonna jump behind you and smash you. It wasn't pleasant, but it was I think these two would be the answer.
Really? Is it because they're as aggressive as well as how well they read the game?
Exactly.
Also?
Aggressive, because you know that they were very impactful in their actions, and also on top of that, they were very intelligent. They knew when to step in, they knew when to stay. And for me, that I love to play these little balls in behind. They always read the situation very well.
Okay. Emo, which modern day player reminds you most of yourself?
Modern player. Okay, I really like Odegaard, and the position and the character and the profile of player that he is today for Arsenal reminds me a little bit of myself in my time.
You know your Arsenal fans are going to be loving that answer.
So yeah, no, I genuinely think that he reminds me a little bit of myself. I got to know him. He's a great guy, great professional, great leader. Reminds me, you know, when I was captain young, brings this energy. I see when they're losing or they're winning or drawing, whatever it is, and he brings the atmosphere up at the Emirates, and it reminds me a little bit of myself. Yeah.
Do you think that's the thing with leadership and being a captain these days? It's changed from all those years ago, what we kind of thought it was, that it was always like the loudest player, the most aggressive, where actually you can lead teams in so many different ways now. 100%.
I always thought that the most vocal guy doesn't necessarily need to be the biggest leader in the team or in a group. There's many ways. For example, Messi is not a player that was leading by what he was saying, but what he was doing on the pitch every single time. For me, he was a leader, but sometimes we confuse a little bit what a leader is. And as you just said, there's so many ways to lead in groups or in companies or in teams. So yeah, for me, the most important is to be focused and to lead by example. Yeah.
Okay, Hayden wants to know, with Como heading into Serie A, how will you look to recruit this summer? Younger profiles or more experienced?
We're going for a little bit of everything. We identify the positions that obviously we need to get better at. We do need a little bit more of experience, 100% players that played in the league, that they competed well, because we don't only want to play not to go down, you know, we want to do a little bit more forward. So for this, you will need young players with energy, with passion, and a little bit of experience as well. I think the mix will be very important.
And just to let Hayden know that Cesc is not here just doing this for BBC. We have seen him constantly working, so there's no summer off just because you're here being a pundit for the Euros. Yeah. We've seen the hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark would like to know, would you like to manage in the Premier League one day?
Listen, I cannot lie and say no, because it's obviously the dream of every manager, I would say, nowadays. But I like to be with my feet on the floor. I like to enjoy what I'm doing now. We're already thinking about what will happen then. We're always thinking about what will happen in the future, and we sometimes don't enjoy the moment. I'm really having fun with what I'm doing. Really, it's a fantastic, beautiful project with a very small club that we're trying to bring and structure well for the future. We have a vision, so we're working very hard for it, and I'm enjoying the moment. And then the future will bring whatever I have to bring.
Will present itself. Okay, a couple of Euros questions for you. Lewis wants to know, who do you believe is going to win the Euros?
I see France as a very strong team in terms of the balance, the experience, the quality that they've got. It's a group that they've been playing together for a while now. So they look strong. Spain, I think, is a team that nobody really is paying attention. But okay, we don't have the names maybe that we used to have before, or maybe the individualities that we used to have before. But we have a team that is very compact, that has a clear ideas of what we want to do. And we're strong, we're solid.
Do you think they like that, Spain? That actually no one's kind of putting them in that bracket of like talking about France and how Germany started, that they might like it, that they are actually going under the radar.
I think it's good for us. I think it's good for us because we have a very young team. It happened the same when we won it back in 2008. Nobody speak about us. We are a young group. We have players from Villarreal, from Arsenal, from Valencia. And this is what's happening now, So I kind of like that, the feel of it, and hopefully we'll do well, yeah.
Okay. Joker actually wants to know, are the Spanish media as tough on Spain as the English media are on England?
Even more. I think the English media is not that tough with the players. I think it's the opposite. When you see what the pundits always speak about the players and the media and the ex-players and stuff, I think 90% of the time I always see people encouraging the players, hyping them up, speaking very well about them, positively all the time. In Spain,
it's tough.
We are much more critic, I think, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Spartacus wants to know, here's one for you. Who was better at 20, you or Jude Bellingham?
It's difficult to say, isn't it? I started very young. I had a very big impact at Arsenal, playing Champions League finals at also 19 years old, winning the Euros at 21 years old, FA Cups, fighting for leagues, being part of the Invincibles, even if not playing, but competing in there, experiencing. I had also a strong personality, having fights at 17 years old with Alan Shearer, with Sheringham.
Have you reminded Alan of that?
Yeah, I did. He knows it very well already some years back. But Jude is fantastic. Again, personality, courage. He wants the ball. He's hungry. I can see that the impact he has at this age is not normal. And for this reason, for me, is again, in this bracket of the Rooneys of the past, the Messis, Cristianos at that age, for sure he's on that bracket, yeah.
Okay. Cesc, how much have you enjoyed stepping back? Yes, your role at Como, but stepping back into this environment and being in that pundit's chair and having to analyse and see the games over this tournament?
I like it. I love it. I think we still should analyse even more, of what we do. Because at the end of the day, we all have our opinions, personal opinions, and we can become coaches. But actually analyzing and talking about players a little bit more specifically about systems, I really love it. I enjoy it, and it's fantastic to be on this side as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know we've got to let you go because you've got to get ready and go and analyse some more games. So thank you for your time, and thank you all for your questions.